Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kat from the Monkey Making Misplaced channel, and today I'll be profiling a top tier deck. It is Rezael, or as I like to call him, Rezael. This will not be a budget deck. This will probably be a list that you'll see similarly everywhere else. I did try, and me and Leo did try to kind of make it budget, but because of the way Keter is now, it feels like it's almost impossible. Like, we were trying to think about like $100 budget, and like just the Rezaels are $40 by themselves. You know, we were looking at Spiral Cuties and it was like $40, $20 to $40 for a playset. So we ended up deciding to just build the good list, which, just gonna say this right now, it's over $400. And that's because I'm missing a card, which would probably bump it up closer to $500. But if you're a competitive player and you want to go to big tournaments and you want good results, and you also don't want to play Shiranui, or like Vargas is another good list, the one Leo profiled earlier. This is a really good pick. It's a very combo heavy deck. You get to manipulate your hand a lot. You get to manipulate the board a lot, at least your board. And there's a lot of branches and, you know, trees that you can go along to just make optimal plays. And this deck feels very rewarding if you master it, if you just play it a lot. It feels really, really cool to play. I know it is a pile deck, which, you know, I myself and, you know, Leo as well, you know, we kind of don't like the idea of the pile deck. But I'd be lying if I said it wasn't fun. It's always fun to just have a really good, consistent deck. If you can afford the price tag and you want to be competitive, I think it's a good pick. So starting with the red line, we have the grade 1. When he is run upon by the grade 2, he'll call himself the Soul Charge 1. Just a decent effect, it just gives you a body on board. You have the grade 2. When he's run upon by Rezael, he'll just call it grade 2 or less from your drop. Again, just advantage, just free advantage. Finally, the main boy, Rezael. When he attacks, you can counterblast 1, and then you can call up to 2 cards with different grades equal or less than to your damage. So let's say you have 3 damage, you can call it 2 and a 1, or just a 2 by itself depending on your drop. And that's kind of where like the branches come from, where like you have to look at your drop and you have to decide, oh, I can do this, I can do this. You look at your hand and you can either add more cards or apply more pressure. You gotta keep a track of your CV and your soul. But it's really cool. As long as you're willing to put in the time and the effort, it's pretty cool. And his Divine Skill, Soul Blast 1, return all your crits from your drop into your deck and shuffle. And then he gets Drive +1. And then to the end of the fight, the next, if you were like a 5 damage going to 6, any trigger will count as a heal. It actually does work. I kind of forgot until the end of the fight. Me and Lee were doing some practice games and I actually got to pull it off. And it did save me. It's such a good skill. You typically kind of want to save it though. You're going to have to learn when to pop the Divine Skill, because you do want some crits and drop. Because if you pop it with no crits and drop, it feels pretty bad. You kind of lose the advantage. So don't be afraid to use your crits as discard fodder if you have to, or just aggressively guard with it. You know, just manage your life total, manage your hand, and it's, you know, you can get really good value out of it. Moving on to the grade 3s, we're playing 3 more. Rezael for Persona Ride, and we're not playing Cup, but we are playing Ladder. It's such a good card, especially in the Shiranui format. Vargas is good. This just protects your board, gives you a soul, and gives your Vanguard +5. Moving on to the grade 2s, we're playing 3 copies of Nopia. One of Rezael's support cards, a triple rare. When she's placed, counterblast 1, look at the top 3 cards, get a card of grade equal or less in your Vanguard and call it, unless it was during the battle phase, in which case it'll go to your hand. So it just extends if you're doing the main phase, or if you're doing the battle phase, it can get you like a PG. So again, really cool versatile effect. And then when it attacks a grade 3 greater unit, if you have a grade 3 greater Vanguard, Soul Blast 1, it gets +10. So a decent beater, but you mostly want to use it for the filter. Moving on to the more grade 2s. Since we are playing the order package, we are playing for Typhal. Very good card. When it is called by anything other than a unit's ability, you can Soul Blast 1, look at 5 cards, get a card of grade less than or equal to your Vanguard, call it, and then when it attacks, if you have 4 more units, it gets +10. Just, again, you're just going to filter, build the board basically for free, and then she just gets +10k for free, which is really good, especially when your Rezael turns, when you're swinging and you're calling it back from drop. It's just a 20k beat stick, 30k on Persona Ride. We are playing 4 copies of Biscotti. We do not use energy at all, so being able to discard this and draw more cards during our ride phase, or on Persona Ride, you can top deck cards that you might need, such as crits, or a card you might want to draw into, like a combo piece if you have the order in hand. You can play it in different ways to get more cards, to get just the best value out of it. So it's just a really good card because we do not use energy. It's basically just free. Speaking of basically free, 2 Spiral Cuties, the Old Cycler, Soul Blast, draw a card, bottom deck it, or if it's on Persona Ride, it's Counterblast, look at the top card, 2 cards, stack 1, bottom the other one. Kind of like Biscotti, very similar, but it's CB, so we prefer Biscotti. We prefer to pitch this, honestly, over Biscotti, just because we don't really care about Soul, and Biscotti is good for guarding and calling, unlike this. That's why we only play the 2. And finally, the order. This is simple, just Counterblast 1, draw 2, call 2 cards. If you don't call, you discard. But it's just a free +2. You're gonna call Typhal and like Sergeon, which is just gonna call you more cards, and then Sergeon's gonna get you another card. So you just plus by the end of it. It's a really good package. Moving on to the grade 1s, we do have triple copy of Aerial Sage, the in-theme counter for Rezael. When he boosts, you can discard a card, and he will counter charge, and then he'll get +2. And then also when he boosts, if you have a grade 3 Great Vanguard, he'll get +5. So he becomes a 15k booster. It's really good. You only need one on the board, typically behind Rezael. But if you have to call another one, it's just a 13k booster, so it's not bad. We are playing 4 copies of the Sergeon we mentioned earlier. As long as you played in order or have more rear guards than your opponents, at the end of the battle he boosts, he'll retire himself. You look at the top 2, get one in hand, bottom deck the other one. This deck, if you liked OTT, I feel like you would enjoy this deck, because it's a lot of filtering and top decking and bottom decking. But this is really good, because it retires yourself and you can just keep calling it back. And finally, 2 copies of Tolbaz for more shield, or on Persona Ride, just look at the top cards, and you can just pick one and call it. Just consistency all around. Finally, PGs. You need them. You gotta have them. If you don't have Sanctitude, just play a regular one. Not much to say. For the OT, we are playing red just to get an extra attack. This deck is a 4 to 5 attack deck, but with the OT, it can maybe get you to 6. I don't really rely on OT. You could play Keter, you could play blue. Just play whatever you think is the best for you. We are playing 3 effect draws, mostly because we want 8 crits, but draws specifically just because to dig deeper into our deck. You can get close to deck out decks if games grind enough, like long enough, last enough, but this can help you just dig for more combo pieces. We're playing a 4 regular, and then 4 soul crits for pressure and for Rezael's ability, and then finally 4 vanilla heal. If I was to take this to a tournament, I'd probably cut one for the higher grade one for Shiranui, Messiah, Chrono, and maybe for the multi-attack one for like Vargas and other multiple attacking units. But yeah, that's the list, everyone. I might try to build a much cheaper Rezael list, but I'm not going to promise anything because, again, we were trying and it was just seeming too hard. I'll see how cheap I can get it, and if I can find something not only interesting but fun to play, maybe I'll post it, but don't hold me to that. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the deck profile, and I'll see you on the next one.